Welcome to the Grief Guardian podcast. I am your host, Grant Cosgrove. During this podcast series, I will be guiding you through the hardest journey, life after losing a loved one, empowering resilience, healing, and hope, one step at a time. In today's podcast, we are looking at one of the many different types of grief. Grief is something we all experience at some point, but not all grief is the same. According to experts, there are up to 20 different types of grief that an individual may experience. Let's explore in this episode disenfranchised grief. What is disenfranchised grief? Disenfranchised grief is a type of grief that often goes unrecognized, misunderstood, or even invalidated by society. Grief is already a heavy burden, but when society doesn't acknowledge or support it, it can feel even more isolating. If you've ever experienced a loss that others didn't seem to understand, dismissed, or told you to just move on from, then you might have experienced disenfranchised grief. Let's break down what disenfranchised grief is, how it manifests, and most importantly, how to navigate it when the world doesn't seem to recognize your pain. Disenfranchised grief is grief that is not openly acknowledged, socially validated, or publicly mourned. Unlike traditional grief, where society expects sadness and offers support, disenfranchised grief often goes unspoken, overlooked, or dismissed. This type of grief can occur when a loss is not seen as important enough, or when there are social rules that prevent open mourning. People experiencing disenfranchised grief often feel like they have to grieve in silence, which makes healing even more difficult. What are the signs and symptoms of disenfranchised grief? Disenfranchised grief can show up in different ways, including losing someone society doesn't recognize as significant, the death of an ex-partner, a co-worker, a distant relative, or even an online friend. Grieving a loss that isn't acknowledged as real grief, miscarriages, infertility struggles, pet loss, or even the loss of a dream or identity. Experiencing a loss that carries stigma, suicide, overdose, estrangement, or being in a relationship that wasn't publicly accepted. Feeling like you shouldn't grieve, men who are expected to stay strong, caregivers who lose a patient, or people who lose an abusive family member. Grieving something intangible, job loss, financial ruin, a medical diagnosis, or major life transitions that don't involve death but still bring deep loss. If you've ever felt like your grief was minimized, dismissed, or misunderstood, you are not alone. What causes disenfranchised grief? This type of grief happens because society has rules and expectations around mourning. Some common causes include 1. Cultural expectations. Some cultures or communities don't openly discuss grief, making it hard for people to express their emotions. 2. Lack of social recognition. If others don't view your loss as important, they may not offer support. 3. Stigma around certain losses. Deaths due to suicide, addiction, or estrangement can make people uncomfortable, leading to avoidance or judgment. 4. Workplace or societal pressure. Being expected to move on quickly after a loss can make it feel like grief isn't allowed. 5. Gender norms. Men in particular may feel pressure to grieve privately rather than seek support. When grief isn't validated, it can leave people feeling isolated, ashamed, or emotionally stuck. What are the impacts of disenfranchised grief? When grief isn't recognized, it doesn't just disappear. It lingers and can affect every part of life. Some common impacts include emotional impact, suppressed sadness, frustration, guilt, or resentment. Mental impact, difficulty concentrating, feelings of confusion, or questioning the validity of one's own grief. Physical impact, fatigue, headaches, muscle tension, or sleep disturbances. Social impact, withdrawing from others due to lack of support. Spiritual impact, questioning beliefs, searching for meaning, or feeling disconnected. Grief thrives on connection and acknowledgement. Without it, the healing process can feel even more challenging. What are some coping strategies for healing from disenfranchised grief? If you are experiencing disenfranchised grief, your grief is real and it matters. Here's how to navigate it. 1. Acknowledge your grief. Just because others don't recognize it doesn't mean it isn't valid. Give yourself permission to feel and process your emotions. 2. Find a safe space to express yourself. Journaling, therapy, or trusted friends can provide a place where your grief is acknowledged. 3. Connect with others who understand. Online support groups, forums, or local grief groups can help you feel less alone. 4. Create your own rituals. Honor your loss in a way that feels meaningful, whether through writing, lighting a candle, practicing a personal memorial. 5. Set boundaries with unsupportive people. Not everyone will understand your grief, and that's okay. Protect your emotional well-being by limiting exposure to dismissive people. 6. Seek professional help if needed. Grief therapists understand the complexity of unacknowledged loss and can offer guidance tailored to your situation. 7. Practice self-compassion. There is no right way to grieve. Allow yourself time, space, and grace to heal at your own pace. Disenfranchised grief is one of the most isolating forms of grief, but you don't have to go through it alone. Your pain is real, your loss is valid, and you deserve the space to heal, even if the world doesn't always understand. Remember, grief is a journey, and you don't have to walk it alone. Be gentle with yourself and keep moving forward, one step at a time. In the next episode, let's explore distorted grief.
If you enjoyed this content, please follow me on my social. You can find me on Facebook as The Grief Guardian and on Instagram as Grant_A_Cosgrove or by searching for The Grief Guardian. I'll include the links in the show notes. Feel free to reach out and connect with me or leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and questions. Are there any topics you'd like me to cover?